All right, we'll call this meeting to order at 5:30. Any adjustments to the agenda?
I have none.
None? Anybody? Select board announcements? Anybody?
Nope.
Okay, public comments not on the agenda. Mr. Fairman.
Mr. Chairman, I see that on the proposed agenda of the next meeting, there's the Kimball Hall Halloween closure request. And if it goes as previous years, there'll be a request to close Alice Holloway Drive in front of the co-op for the annual meeting. And I'm just offering this food for thought, that it's in the news all the time nowadays, that when a street is closed, that accidentally or on purpose, a vehicle drives into the street and very bad things happen. So it's not that I'm saying we shouldn't close streets, but I'm suggesting that we should give some thought to how we might close the street in such a manner that a vehicle could not enter it. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll think about that. All right, approval of minutes, August 20th.
I make a motion to approve minutes of August 20th, 2025.
Second.
Fletcher, I think there's some background noise on your end.
Yeah, there is. It should die down soon, but I'll mute
Okay.
for now. But
Looks good to me.
Anybody else? Fletcher, you're good with them? There we go. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, warrants to the treasurer.
I make a motion to approve and execute the warrants to the treasurer upon completion of review.
Wait a second.
Second.
Karen?
Payroll warrant dated September 5th, 2025 in the amount of $24,293.53.
Everything normal?
Yes.
Looks good to me.
So there's only 1 week of pool compensation. So the pool was closed on August 23rd.
Okay.
Until next year. Accounts payable dated August 23rd through September 5th, 2025 in the amount of $1,400,750.07. There is a payment to Wyndham Southeast School District. It's the first payment, $1,058,000. Well, $1,058,652.41. In this warrant also you will see a invoice from Renault Brothers and one from Bill Harlow and Sons. And that is for the Parkman Wood Box Culvert, and that was started last week and finished. So Renault Brothers is $98,200 and Bill Harlow and Sons was $78,000. We also have in this warrant M&T Bank. We have paid off 2 loans, one for the 2021 Western Star and the other one is for the exhaust system at the fire department.
Nice.
Basin Brothers Trucking, 25,800, that was for crushing materials in our pit, which was contracted.
What's the gas card? Wix Bank.
Wex Bank, that is
Gas
the
card.
gas cards for the fire department and for the highway department.
Did we get a grant for the box culvert project?
We did, yes.
So
That is a FEMA grant.
so
that
we'll
will
get
get-
reimbursed for
it will
some
be
of that
reimbursed.
anyway.
Yes. So once the checks go out, I can copy those and request a reimbursement.
Okay.
And the water meter pilot from FW Web.
That is 6 meters that went into 6 different locations. They are the new, digital. They operate by cell signals. So we're testing, it's a pilot program, we're gonna test it out, see how it works. This will eliminate having someone to go out and physically read meters, and we can collect data on a daily basis, do reporting and
Nice.
everything. And if there's a leak, we can pinpoint where it is.
Nice.
So this is like huge for Putney. So we're on the brink of technology here. But we'll have to put it out to bid, for costs, but if we do all the properties with water meters, we're getting a price now to see what that's gonna cost. So.
Anybody else, anything? All in favor? Aye. Town manager's report.
I don't have a report this
Perfect.
week.
There's nothing on the boards, committees, commissions, so we'll go to select board new business. October 1st, select board meeting reschedule.
Yeah, so we have a resolution for non-working holidays in place, and one of the holidays that I believe we recommended to ourselves not to hold meeting dates on is Yom Kippur, which I guess is October 1st. So I wanted to make a pitch for us to either reschedule that meeting or hold a minimal meeting just to do warrants.
I would suggest Tuesday or Thursday to have a meeting.
September 30th or October 2nd, right?
Yes. As we get into October, we're gonna be getting into budgets and planning for town meeting. And there's a lot of other things going on, like our next select board meeting is gonna be packed. So I don't recommend not having a meeting, but just moving it.
Says, community meeting at the Yellow Barn on the 30th.
Nope, so we're not doing it on the 30th.
So Thursday,
Thursday works better.
works for me, yeah.
According to Google, I don't have anything going on that day.
Exciting, I'm sure I'm good. I can be good.
So Thursday, October 2nd.
Yeah.
Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Fairman.
Although I'm not Jewish, my understanding is that Jewish holidays run from sunset to sunset, which would mean it would run probably from sunset Wednesday to sunset Thursday, which would be later than 5:30 p.m. So this may be a consideration for not having it on Thursday, but I emphasize, although I'm not Jewish, that's my understanding.
Yeah, so a lot of these holidays run for more than one day as well,
Right.
but again, my understanding is that the first day of Yom Kippur is the most important part. I'm also not Jewish. Does anybody have any insight to that?
I think starting it at sundown on Thursday when the holiday's ending makes a lot more sense than starting it at sundown
On the,
when
yeah, okay,
on the evening when the holiday is starting, right?
yeah,
So we actually probably, by the time, we will be out on the outside of the holiday for most of the meeting if we change it to Thursday.
okay.
Okay.
So I make a motion to move our regularly scheduled meeting on October 1st to a special meeting on October 2nd, 2025 at 5:30 p.m.
Second.
Oh, Fletcher, any comments on that?
No, I'm good with that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, select board old business. Select board rules of procedure review. Fletcher?
Well, I'm hoping everybody had a chance to go over the red line version that was distributed a couple of weeks ago, and I've gone through the comments that Jeanette White made, some of which I think are good suggestions. I'm not gonna go with all of them, but so I am planning revisions that incorporate most of her suggestions. I'm not seeing why I need to explain that a majority is more than a tie, but most of it's good stuff. But so I'm wondering whether any members of the board also have suggestions that I can incorporate into a revised draft to circulate. I mean, we did talk about maybe pushing this to a work session, so depending on how the board feels about it, if there's a lot of comments, then we ought to push it to a work session. But if there's a few things, bearing in mind Jeanette's comments already, I might be able to circulate a revised draft that people would be comfortable with.
It's hard to say because you've rewritten it as opposed to taking what we already had and made changes to that. I know we earlier talked about things that had been added specifically for hybrid meetings and some other things that were specific to Putney that are in our original rules. So it's a little hard to say whether there are other additional things. I guess if we're gonna deep dive into this, I'd like to have both of them side by side.
Well, I think you have all of those documents one way or another. I can recirculate them. Last time I circulated a revised my proposal, I was asked to also do a redlined version, which is what was circulated a couple of weeks ago. So you now have the 2021 version, which is your current operating rules, that my 2025 proposal, and a redline comparison of the two. As to the hybrid meeting stuff, there's been some rearranging. In particular, I broke up a pretty dense block of text, but absolutely 100% of that language is still in this procedure, this proposed procedure. So maybe it would be worth the board really spending some more time focusing on the proposal and seeing whether you're comfortable with it. I did make some grammatical changes because some of the wording was dense. Jeanette came back at me with some to the point observations about some pretty, let's say, obscurely worded parts of my draft, which I intend to work on. But absent that, I mean, I think it's what I told you before I circulated the red line version. Because things have been moved around, the way the computer reacts to it is it deletes everything and then puts everything in as if it was new, where in fact it's just been rearranged and sometimes broken up so that the blocks of text aren't so dense. The one thing that I should say that I'm proposing to add on the basis of Jeanette's, on the basis of a number of comments, everyone seemed to want a paragraph that said purpose in order to more conform to the way the League of Cities and Towns does it. And I did pull together a paragraph that reincorporates that. Parts of it, again, had been broken out in other parts of the proposal. So I pulled them back in. And that's not a long paragraph that I could just read to you if you want, but also I think I could include in whatever text whatever version I circulate after this meeting that might get us closer to a final copy. If you want me to read the first paragraph that as I put it in, I can do that.
I think Peg's got a comment for you, Fletcher.
Yeah, I have a few comments. I did take the last version and really compared it to the existing version. So those are the two that I was really comparing so really closely. So forgive me if something's already been addressed in the red line version, because I'm not sure about that. So a couple things that seemed that changed was whether or not motions do require a second or don't require a second. Like in the under organization, oh no, now I'm in the red line version. It doesn't
I don't know.
match at all the last version I was looking at. So, okay, so if maybe just make a note about some of these things and take a extra peek at them, Fletcher. It seemed like there's some discrepancies some places about whether motions made by members of the body do require a second or do not require a second.
Well, if you look at conduct of meetings, which is F, paragraph 5, quote, motions made by members of the board do not require a second.
And so that is a big change.
It is a change. It's actually something that I pulled out of Robert's rules for small meetings, but we can have a second if you wish.
Well, it's more like if there's a change like that, I think the useful thing would be to have a list of like what those substantive changes are, so that we can say, well, what do we think? Do we need a second or don't we need a second? That's a substantive change. So I'm not sure whether we want to talk about that now or just start putting the list together of the substantive changes. Because other things on the substantive change list for me would be the thing about the clerk shall determine the final content of the agenda. That's a substantive change. And if we're going to do that, then we need to add a section where we talk about organization of the board that we need to. Right now we only talk about the chair and the vice chair. And so we need to add something in there about the clerk and that we need to appoint a clerk. And so that's just another place that needs to be addressed.
That was a point that Jeanette started out with in her comments, and I found it sort of surprising, frankly, that she said that it's not defined anywhere, because if you look at the statute on the organization of a select board, it says in the statute that the board shall elect a chair and a clerk. It doesn't say anything about a vice chair, and
Yeah,
Then
so,
let's, I'm not
we-
arguing, I'm just
we
saying that
absorb.
it's not in here. And I think maybe it would be useful to put it in here, whether it's in the statute or not.
I did. As I said, I've incorporated a number of Jeanette's changes, and that's something that I do intend to clarify. The other thing that's interesting about it is the open meeting law. The open meeting law says specifically that the clerk is supposed to be, maintaining the minutes of the meeting. Well, where there's a couple of statutory provisions that require us to have a clerk, and yet, we do have one. We elected one at our organizational meeting.
Right. I'm not arguing that.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to get clarity. I'm not arguing. I'm not even making a case for what should or shouldn't be in there, or what I think is my preferred choice. I'm just trying to add to the list of places that need some clarity and attention, because they are changes. They're substantive changes.
Well, what I was trying to get is, I'm incorporating Jeanette's changes. I was hoping that any changes that the board also felt needed to be made, I could get from the board tonight, so that I could incorporate those into the next revised draft to distribute. But the way it's going right now, it sounds like this is turning into more of a work session, which I think, already agreed if we're going to do it as a work session, that should be a separate meeting, really, that we might need to schedule another work session.
so I think one of the things that would be nice about a select board rules of procedure is rules of procedure that we're not questioning whether we have a clerk or not. So it needs to be clear so that the select board, the future select board, not us, understands the procedures. Second, I had a very hard time trying to figure out what was missing in here, because it was you moved it around. You've taken a lot out. I still don't know where you put the hybrid stuff in here, because I still can't find it. And I would make another pitch again, instead of rewriting the entire thing, to take what we originally had and rewrite that instead, because that has everything that we need in it. There might be substantive changes or opinions about how we run our meetings, but it's all there. So I'm just going to keep advocating for that. I frankly find this document very confusing. So, and that may just be me, but I don't think I could run a meeting with this. I'm still talking, please. Thank you. So I would like to do this in a work session myself, because this is fundamental to how we run our meetings, and I can't work like this. So
well, your proposal that I take the existing rules and work with them is exactly what I did. Meetings of the board, section D, 6. If a quorum or more is present to attend.
you may have Fletcher, but it doesn't read that way to me.
It's exactly your language that you said you worked out about hybrid. Attend electronically and without being physically present at a designated meeting or location. The agenda for the meeting shall designate at least. This is exactly the language from the existing
Where is
policy. That's meetings of the board, subsection 6. It's all in there. It just that particular provision that included that was a pretty dense paragraph. So I tried to break it into pieces that made sense in themselves. But your hybrid meeting language is all entirely there. I didn't remove anything. I mean, I think we have to have rules about hybrid meetings now.
Yeah, no, there was other pieces. There were rules of participation. I just can't find it.
Well, that was why I was asked to produce a red line copy, was because people felt that would facilitate it. I said at the time I didn't think it was really going to make it easier, but I did that, and that's it. It's, I think, frankly, a mess when you redline it. But what I really suggest is that if you really sit down with the proposal and read through it, you're going to find most of what you think might have disappeared, because I really didn't take that much out. I did do stuff that I thought made sentences simpler, more readable, but I didn't chop out things that ought to be there, like hybrid meetings.
There's an entire participation piece that I can't find in here about hybrid meetings.
That's
I can't talk. But I do think we should sit down together and do it, because we're not going to get
No.
anywhere tonight. And it is important. And we should
It's
all
super
understand
important.
it.
Yep.
It's super important. Can I make a suggestion?
sure.
Pardon.
Fletcher, I think we all agree to how important this is, and I wonder if it would be easier for us to process this and see more clearly the changes if the headings were the same. So like if we did purpose, application, organization, agendas, meetings, public participation, if we stuck with the existing headings, because when those start moving around, that's partly where it gets a little more complicated to compare apples to apples. And so I just wonder if we could put the changes that you're proposing, but keep the headings the same, so that we can really do it section by section.
Well, they pretty much are. I mean, at Jeanette's suggestion, I have drafted a purpose section, but then if you go through these, we've got application in the old, application in the new, organization. I did add of the board to the organization section in the old. Now I did move agendas down after meetings, the section on meetings, but it's still there and still labeled agendas. Then is meetings, although I did add of the board, so it says meetings of the board. And then there's, after you go, I then moved conduct in, but G, public participation, and I added in-board meetings, not just public participation. I mean, not only are they there, they still have the same headings.
In different orders.
In different orders, yeah.
Yeah,
So it sounds like we all want to do a work session.
yeah,
Yep.
sure.
We do a Google poll or whatever, and doodle poll.
Sorry, Karen.
Karen, please.
Polls.
Sure.
Okay.
How many dates do you want me to throw at you?
Oh, God.
I don't want to overwhelm anyone.
3 or 4.
Yeah, and let's not do it until after September.
After September?
Well, I'm not gonna be able to do it
I
until
guess,
after
is
September.
it, could we work, instead of, I think us all getting together as 5 people to wordsmith, 6 people is actually not necessarily the best strategy here. I think the better strategy would be to get 2 people together, so that we get 2 brains working on it together and bring it to, so that it's just not, so we get some other thinking, but we don't try to do it with the whole board.
Well, I had I had suggested to Jeanette that maybe she and I could sit down together, but that never came to pass. So I don't know. I'd be happy to work with another board member. I'd be happy to work with Jeanette. Anybody that is, I mean, both Jeanette and I are probably guilty of wordsmithing at various times, but I think we ought to be able to come to some understanding about the substance. And as she says, as said in her notes, she's got a lot of experience.
I think it should be a member of the board.
I agree, but
Um,
she was pretty heavily involved, so I thought she might be an idea.
well, she could be part of it.
You have her notes,
Yeah.
and you have Mr. Fairman's notes as well.
I nominate Peg.
I have lists of things for the board that I have not done yet. And
Yeah.
until I do those, including the ordinance, rewriting of that ordinance, I feel like I need to get that done.
Which ordinance was that?
Fire
service.
reimbursement ordinance. So I can't take this on until I'm done with that.
Bex.
I mean, I could give it a go. I probably know the least, but
That
I
might be
mean,
the
that
best.
might-
That might be the best.
huh.
No, because you come at it with a fresh perspective and,
Right.
That might be.
And it's as much about clarity and preparing us for discussion as it is about the content of it.
Right.
Because there's a couple really big
There's some, yeah.
big issues in here that we need to talk about that, so like I want to like get the little dinky things cleared out of the way that are not important and give us room to talk about the substantive issues.
Okay.
After you can talk.
Get my vocal cords back.
So nix the word, the Google thing.
Yep.
No pulling needed.
All right, we're good with that topic. Any public comment on that? No? Okay. We're gonna go into executive session.
Wait.
Ready?
Oh, Mr. Fairman.
Mr. Chairman, sorry to interrupt, but there may have been a mistake regarding agenda item 9. Was the meeting rescheduled to October 2nd?
Yeah, we did have a motion in a second.
Okay, then during the discussion here, I took a look online, and I'm looking at the Chabad website, which according to Jews I know, people of this following of Judaism are especially observant. It says, this year, Yom Kippur is observed from several minutes before sunset on October 1st to after nightfall on October 2nd. And it goes on to say that it lasts 26 hours, not 24 hours. So it would appear that your motion actually has put you in the wrong instead of in the right.
We agree, we recognize
We
that.
recognized that already. We're trying to make it so that it's less invasive to the holiday than be right in the beginning of it.
Well, the point is that the holiday, which is observed strictly by observant Jews, they spend the whole time in prayer, it says here, lasts until after nightfall on the 2nd, which will be after this meeting is over. So I would suggest that you consult some Jews about what would be appropriate here, as no one in this room is Jewish, and we do want to be respectful of Judaism.
Do we have another meeting before then?
You do, 17th. That
All right.
gives you time to consult people who actually know what would be appropriate and can tell you.
So the motion stands, but we could revisit it on the 17th if it became a problem.
Sounds good.
So why don't we put that on the agenda, just as a standing thing? And we'll do some research.
Okay. So for full disclosure, I'm gonna be on vacation.
When?
Well, I was kind of like waiting to hear what we're gonna do about the first. I'm probably leaving October 4th, and I won't be back till October 12th,
Okay.
so.
Well, then, I mean, we could still have it on the 30th. That, what did you say was the Yellow Barn community thing?
No, that's the zoning bylaw modernization public engagement
Oh, that.
with the planning commission, and that's gonna be a big meeting.
Yeah.
That Monday. Well,
The board
When are you
can,
going on vacation?
on the 4th.
So what we just did doesn't impact your vacation, does it?
Does what?
Oh,
The second.
the second doesn't, if we shift to the
No.
second, you're okay, so.
Yeah, I'm okay there, but if you change it, then
Right.
I won't be.
Right, okay, so back, I say we're back there, let's leave it where it is
We'll do
and
some research.
do some research and anybody can come back to the next meeting with concerns.
oops. All right.
Okay. So we're gonna go into executive session, one VSA 313A1. After making a specific finding that premature general public knowledge would clearly place public body or person involved at a substantial disadvantage. Confidentiality, attorney-client communications made for the purpose of providing professional legal services to the body. And 2, the negotiating or securing of real estate purchase or lease options. Are we making a decision?
I don't think so, but potentially.
Okay.
The spirit, yes.
And invite Karen in.
Invite Karen.
Oh, I was headed out.
You're not on vacation yet. You have to stay here. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we're back. We have one motion on the table.
I move to warn notice that the town intends to sell parcel 030235 to Harold Demick for $7,500 pursuant to 24 VSA 1061.
All in favor?
You need a motion. You need a second.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
and here, now you can sign it.
I move to adjourn.
Excellent.
The next meeting's September 17th, 2025. I hear a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.